This is probably the only franchise where there isn't a sense of fatigue that is kicking in with the audience, and there is genuine interest in what Ethan Hunt and his crew have to battle and solve across several nations. I often wonder why there is a growing interest in anything associated with Tom Cruise globally, and it really has to do with him pushing the envelope individually and, more importantly, being one of the only actors in Hollywood that is actually safeguarding and contributing to the big screen experience. In an era where we believe only in India we are experiencing diminishing footfalls in theatres, the situation is even more grave in North America, and in comes a man who really wants to make your trip to the cinema hall worth your hard-earned money, proving it with Top Gun recently, so no wonder people are flocking in from all over the world as he is considered to be the last of the stars in Hollywood. The film, the seventh installment of the franchise, focuses on Ethan Hunt and his gang who have to stop an AI-generated technology called the Entity that has the capabilities that can have catastrophic global consequences. As the technology has access to several confidential and sensitive matters like defense technology and dissemination of information, it in the wrong hands can really lead to chaos globally. Accurately described as having the capability to go rogue as it pleases, or more specifically a truth-eating digital parasite. How Ethan, with the help of the usual suspects Simon Pegg, Ving Rhames and Rebecca Ferguson, and this time Hayley Atwell, aim to make sure that the technology doesn't get in the hands of the wrong people who can use it for their vested interests of global domination, forms the basic storyline of Dead Reckoning Part 1. Here's me telling you the good and bad aspects of the film so that you guys can ultimately decide whether to watch it in theater or not. The underwhelming aspects. Wish for a tighter edit and loose origin story. The film has a running time of 2 hours and 45 minutes, and in no way am I trying to insinuate that it ever feels like a drag, because honestly, the exhilarating action and the chemistry between the characters make up more than enough to make the trip eventful and entertaining. But in the second half of the film, as more intricacies of the Entity are being discussed among the team members, I feel like the film could have easily benefited from a tighter edit. This especially becomes apparent when the film explores the origin story of Isai Morales, who plays the role of Gabriel, and how it ties into Ethan's life. As the movie is titled Dead Reckoning Part 1 and there is still more to come, you feel a dilemma on whether this connection is just loosely fleshed out, or you have to give the benefit of the doubt to the makers who will establish the same with more effectiveness in Part 2. Can I just say, however, from an intimidating point of view, Gabriel did not pack the punch for me as the antagonist to be feared. In hindsight, it actually is the existence of the Entity and its boundless potential that scares the hell out of you. It's crazy that in a world of egos battling it out with one another, it is the faceless technology that is the scary part. I guess we will have to explore their connection in Part 2, but for me, beyond Isai Morales being exceptional in the action choreography, the character did not really intrigue or develop fear within me. The good. Action set pieces. In an era of superhero fatigue and just the large dependence on digitally rendered objects and backgrounds, Mission Impossible really provides us what most audiences crave for: practical effects in real locations and mostly being performed by the actors themselves. I cannot rave enough about the dedication of the cast that has clearly given everything for this film. Tom Cruise is an absolute beast, and fans of his filmography would know how iconic it is to see him run through the streets of different countries. And this installment also delivers, as the 61-year-old man has still got it and has the agility and pace that is better than most young actors. Be it the narrow lanes of Europe or even on top of an airport, Tom is just running and we are here to see it. You've got horse riding through a sandstorm, an exceptionally choreographed airport sequence that is both entertaining and thrilling, a car chase sequence for the ages, enhanced further by the chemistry between Hayley and Tom, and finally the infamous train sequence that will keep you on the edge of your seat, I guarantee you. I love purists like Tom who want to safeguard such storytelling with practical effects. We are transitioning to the far left with digital dependence, and this was such a breath of fresh air. And speaking of air, the theatre literally gasped as Tom jumped from his bike from the edge of the cliff. The IMAX experience was truly worth it. Lack of forced humor and what translated especially well. What I especially loved about this film was just the absence of me ever rolling my eyes at what was transpiring. I guess we have been subject to such cheesy storytelling otherwise that we immediately create a thesis about how forced the humor is in most commercial films, but Dead Reckoning Part 1 is absolutely devoid of that. The battle of wits between Tom and Hayley is so effortless. Simon Pegg and Ving Rhames just feel like family at this point. It never feels like the creators are in this desperate need to extract laughs from the audience. Even the misfit CIA duo that is constantly chasing Ethan extracts such hilarious moments in the film. What I also love about this movie is that it has a huge list of female characters who are just badass. Their sex is immaterial to the storytelling. There is not a presence of social commentary jargon to justify their presence there. They are simply good at what they do, and that's that. I absolutely love the fact that the female actors had so much to contribute to this story, especially a film so commercially driven which is mostly dominated by men in every frame. Make it so normal that no one bats an eyelid about their capability, and you love to see it. Background score and cast. I can't help but get a rush of nostalgia the moment the opening credits of Mission Impossible plays. It's too slick and iconic to not get in the feels of why you fell in love with the movies. I also have to say that the music composed by Lorne Balfe enhances the action set pieces rather than ever having the ability to feel as if it's overwhelming or taking over the visuals. The cast also deserves immense appreciation. Boasting of a stacked lineup, I absolutely love the OG crew of Simon Pegg and Ving Rhames. Rebecca Ferguson as Ilsa really showcases her prowess as an action star, giving it her all in hand-to-hand combat, especially this exceptional sequence on a bridge. Vanessa Kirby has some hilarious moments, but even in her short stint, it's Pom Clementif that really impressed me. She's not only physically able but has a really engaging arc that makes her character so significant to how things progress. In a narrow alley battling it out with Ethan, she really does shine, while somewhat looking like Harley Quinn too. It is, however, the duo of Hayley Atwell and Tom Cruise who really steal the show. They share such magnetic chemistry with one another. Their eye contact, the flippant yet subtle remarks passed, the unpredictability of their relationship, all accounts for you to be fully invested on their journey. I absolutely was smitten by Hayley in this film, and she acts as such a key contributor to the overall quality of the film, as she is in almost every frame with Tom. Whatever I say about Tom would not do justice to a life dedicated to the cinema and safeguarding its purity. He's determined both physically and from a dramatic point of view to deliver you an experience far from mediocrity that we are served week in and week out. And I truly can say this with utmost conviction, there isn't anyone like him, and Mission Impossible is really the outing you need to take before the madness of Oppenheimer and Barbie commences. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about Dead Reckoning Part 1. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram, the handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.